Christians, we face a lot of adversity. And that's why I think also excellence is something we should strive for.
Are you a pastor? Oh, yeah.
Pieces of My African Soul International Ministries.
Worldwide. East Africa.
Before you ask, I've ended my
How many years now?
This should be the 4th.
But you also, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Some of these things, it's about making a commitment. Your commitment is not to love someone if they do this. Your commitment is not to be available if or when. Your commitment is to be available, period. Remember when I said you do whatever needs to be done, okay, to make sure this one major commitment is functional, okay? And that means even recognizing when you are the problem. You see that?
Okay.
It means even recognizing when you are the problem, you the individual, okay? Whether it is your work habits, whether it is your communication faults, your eating habits.
There are homies who eat, eh? Like, why should you allow a guy to take you at a restaurant and you want to eat everything in the restaurant?
And you know your guy is not there.
Let us continue.
You wash plates.
So like I was saying,
you clean the floor. Like, Eric, why are you cleaning you work at Hunters now? Temporary. He was left with a huge bill. Don't clean the roof.
So you understand? So it means recognizing even when you are the problem, okay? Because an unhealthy individual brings for a very unhealthy relationship. Yes, true, okay? But if your focus is on making the relationship work, then you will acknowledge where you are failing it. You understand? Yes. Because some of these things, they come down to basically ego, okay? I told you guys about people who say, I remember I had a fight with a friend of mine who was dating a closer friend of mine, and he was saying,
oh, that's a long web.
I know.
Dude has experience.
Then he says, I'm not the communicating type. What?
Huh?
What?
You ask for food. What does it mean? Let me say this with all due respect. Even people who are have hearing problems or people who are blind, they communicate. What do you mean you're not communicating? The only person communicates is a dead person. That's the only non-communicating type.
Even a dead person communicates. Like, you need to put me in there by starting.
They're intergalactic.
Put me there.
So here's the thing. So at that point, I was offended on my friend's behalf. Okay, why? Is because at this point, the fact that you don't like communicating, you're saying that it is more important to you than the health of this relationship. You understand that?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to anybody really when you think about it?
It does. Sometimes you're wise, yeah.
Yeah. So like it's something that sometimes we need to you need to reassess, yeah? You need to reassess these things. But then he brought in a very important point, actually. I thought he was also going in a certain direction.
My juice is getting done, but anyway.
There's giving yourself, okay? There's giving 100+% of yourself in a scenario where you're getting like 20% back.
Yeah.
You guys have been there. I have.
I have been there, but
that is called unhealthy sacrifice.
Very unhealthy. How can you be there? Especially, do you see how?
In fact, I have a friend who calls it foolishness.
It is foolishness, actually.
You can't sacrifice 110.
You always know in your heart, even though you deny it, you always know in your heart you're doing too much for this person who actually knows that you will not leave. Eric, come and carry for me this load. And then when you need them, they're like, I'm busy.
And guess what? Many times such people, at the back of their mind, they know that
I don't need this person.
He's a space holder.
Yeah, this is my career.
Space holder.
An embarrassing story. Looking back,
tell me about it.
Looking back, I have to wonder, Eric, were you okay?
How are you used, my brother?
Eric,
tell us how you were used.
I'm sure you were okay. I was dating someone many years ago. Many years ago. I was dating someone. Then there was this one scenario. I think we had spent the whole day doing something. I don't remember what it was, but we were taken up for the whole day. I was flat broke. Flat broke. I think I had like 500 shillings or something.
Ugandan shillings.
Yes.
Five what?
500.
Ugandan shillings.
Like, yeah, I had 500 shillings.
That cannot be converted to any other currency.
0.001 Kenyan shillings.
Like, it was as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
Okay? So, sometime in the course of the day, like, I got really hungry. Yeah? I think all of us were hungry. We bought timber.
No,
What's timber? I want to know.
That should not go out of this country.
For our international viewers, research what timber is in Uganda and then come and tell us. It must be something.
It's not wood. Let me tell you what it's not. It's not wood.
So I bought timber. We shared this timber. Yeah? Okay?
You are lumberjacks. Lumberjacks, carpenters.
Then at a later point in the day, I happened to be stepping out, I think to some shop somewhere. No, towards the shops, not to the shop because I had no money for the shop. Then she goes like, there's this 2K I have here. It appeared from nowhere, yeah? Because like, there's this 2K I have here. Help me buy. There's this place where they used to sell mandazis, yeah? So it's like 3 for 500, so that is 6 for 1K. Yeah. So she goes like, help me buy those mandazis. Okay? So I bought mandazis for 2K. Okay? 2K, so that those are 12 mandazis. And the guy was my guy, so he gave me a bonus 1. So there were 13 mandazis.
And she chonged all.
Wait, so this is the person you've been with the whole day, okay?
Eating 500.
You are hungry, you shared that.
The timber.
I need to know what timber is.
I promise
I promise you're not going to get to know this. Not on this podcast.
Not on this one.
People, I cannot make this up. I cannot make this up. This girl ate 12 mandazis. The nyongeza. I ate the nyongeza.
Oh, your boy.
Usman Kamara.
Oh, your boy.
I think I must have been in shock.
Who was the guy?
I'm just saying, like, I must have been.
Say, wait. Ham. 6,
12.
7, 8, 9. You're just standing and checking. I'm like, the worm.
And you know why you ate the last one? Because you had picked it. Had you not picked it, boy.
Eric, you were this opinionated at that point.
I do not remember.
I feel like the Eric of now would have told her.
Let me tell you something. And we're not going to argue about this. We're not going to debate about this. You were foolish.
You were foolish.
I was not. And looking back, looking back, I asked myself, what? Huh?
I think you're in that moment to remind her to deworm, and you did not.
Like, I promise you, till tomorrow.
Yeah.
There are times I will sit down and think back and say, Eric, really?
But you were foolish. You deserved it.
I think
Okay,
so.
We will vote fast.
Enough of the
We will vote fast, and then when I'm going home, I chong the mandazi. 500, 2K.
Yo, and
yes.
So I was looking at it, and I'm like, how does this make sense? And then that, like, I think it was also an eye opener for me, because in that moment I had this just
epiphany.
I used to wonder why Eric is his size, the kind of people he dates.
Yeah, it is the dating.
And cannot allow him to prosper.
The food that they.
So I started looking back from there, and boom, it hit me. This was already part of a pattern. Yeah. When I started looking back on like other things which I had ignored or not considered, they were more or less in the same way. More or less in the same way. You're both in need, but all of a sudden their need feels more important than your own, even to them.
You remember the principle I told you my dad taught me? What you think you need, the other person actually is in more need of it.
But people misuse that principle.
No. The misuse here comes here that I'm holding this glass of juice. Okay? In the depth of my heart, I know I am the only one who needs this juice. I am the only one entitled, and that is what I call entitlement. You get it? You don't care about others. You are just entitled. You think everything is meant for you. That's wrong. Everything is not for you.
And then
I was actually telling someone that in this life, we are not here for ourselves. The whole essence of being in this life with everyone around us is so that we can care about each other, we can impact other people. Otherwise, Adam would have stayed in the Garden of Eden alone. He was having a good life.
And you brought that aspect. It doesn't mean that we not now. If you had 500, you will not engage in another situation and actually share again. I hope that situation did not make you such a person, but it made you wiser, so that you know people who use you and people who actually need help. And men, I think we get blind. I think it's a phase in life. I think in our early teens when we are so desperate, when we like a girl, man, even if they use us a million times, you know that you're being used, but you're still. Man, there was one. Let me also give an embarrassing story. So
I'm interested in this.
Oh boy.
I'm interested in this.
I am foolish, guys. So let me just say,
You are.
I was foolish, but I am no longer foolish.
You're changed.
I'm in that situation. I am foolish, but I'm no longer foolish. So what happened is, we used to have a shop. You remember, this shop is one of the sources of our family's. Eric, stop laughing. Let me finish the story. So, first of all, this girl was older than me. Man, but she was fly. She was fly, man. She was fly. They always fly. They always have this nice smile that you're like, oh, take all my life. Like, what do you have, my brother? All your belongings have been put in a camera. What do you have? Take all my camera. Anyway, let me not digress. So I like her. And then because she was older, she most likely, at that point, testosterone is burning your brain. You know, it burns our brain until we are like 25. She noticed this. She was also in high school, but I think 2 classes ahead of me. She said, okay, they have a show. So she started hanging out with me at the show. Man, you know how cool that was? Like, I'm hanging out with this fly girl at our show.
You just pick and pass.
Mom, you've never known this story. I am confessing on this podcast. My siblings know, so don't beat us.
Watupe fimbo.
Mama usinipige, mimi ni mzee siku hizi. Karibu nakuwa na nyumba yangu. So, she started hanging out with me for like 3 days. And I'm like, okay, this is nice. And then one day she puts on a request. So, we were selling trays of eggs.
Oh God.
Guess what I gave this woman? I gave this woman a tray of eggs, man. I gave this woman a tray of eggs.
Who does this?
I fed a whole family, guys. I fed a whole family.
A generation.
A generation. 30 eggs, guys. 30 eggs. I bet you like I need 30 eggs for a month, guys. Yeah. Exactly. That's how many, so much cholesterol. Anyway. I gave her this tray of eggs, and it was an act of love for me. I was like, if I give her this tray of eggs, this one will fall for me. I'm flexing with eggs, my guys. God is good for bringing us this far. Guess what happened after I gave her that tray of eggs? Up to this day, I have never seen her. She used to live in my town. I don't know if she still does, but she disappeared.
I am thinking that sometimes, if not many times, our acts of love, in quote unquote, is an act of foolishness.
Very foolish. Because we put wisdom aside. We're like, our logical thinking, and in your head, you know you're being used.
I am sure mommy tried to calculate the profit from the sale of eggs. And
see, we need the eggs in our house. Me, I'm feeding another family that probably did not even need those eggs.
I'm about to ask you though. At that time, like how many days? Okay, like how many days would your family consume like a tray of eggs?
We never ate eggs regularly. We were selling eggs. There's a difference. You know how you sell? You're not the eater. You are the seller.
So you and your head.
You sell to people who can afford
the eggs. You know you have it, but you need the money that comes with it.
You have it, but you can't afford it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what happened to me.
So you and your head carried
myself with all my stupidity.
And carried 30 eggs.
30 eggs. And
which even your family could not afford to consume.
It for life. Which was now it's not love. It was not love.
Mr. Loverboy.
We need another poem.
Now we need to talk.
We need another poem.
How eggs disappeared.
Mr. Loverboy.
If love was foolishness.
Love was foolishness.
You guys are bad. But anyway, now we need to have a discussion as men. Mm-hmm. But I think it comes also with age.
When are we going to have this discussion?
Even now, of how sometimes we should be wise to know how to differentiate actually acts of kindness and being used. And ladies also, man, be good people.
we also need to address this culture that is breeding this vice. I call it a vice.
Which one is that?
Vice of entitlement. I don't know that it's just a Ugandan girls thing.
Don't discourage me. I'm looking for Uganda.
Wait a minute. Someone was telling me about their country, how bad it is. And I felt sorry for them. I felt sorry for them.
What happened in that country?
I was like, boy, you will die of a heart attack in Uganda. But we love our sisters.
Guys, me, I'm looking for Ugandan.
We'll give you one.
Here's the thing. So
We'll link you with one.
You link me, eh?
You sort yourself.
Thank you.
Make sure
you reinforce your heart.
You guys do
reinforce your heart.
Ugandan women are coming
Reinforce
for
your
you.
wallet.
Uganda.
Listen, and I hear, and this is something I got to learn this principle from a random Facebook post. Okay, random Facebook post. A girl was making fun of a guy for not being able to afford to give her something, and the guy's response was as blunt comes. If it was so easy, how come your father didn't give you?
Can we end this podcast?
Thank you for coming.
End this podcast.
Yeah, because.
But I've used that response before.
Oh,
Because here's the thing, yeah?
I need more juice.
People have grown up in families, okay? Where they are kinging their dad for struggling to provide for a family. A dad who is 50, they're calling him king because he's struggling to provide. But they are shaming a 23-year-old boy for failing to provide the same things your king dad couldn't provide for you. You understand?
Yeah.
I find it ridiculous, okay? I find it ridiculous. What? Were you born from a tree? You were born from parents the same way this boy was?
It is called money shaming.
I didn't know it had a name. Thank you for giving us the name.
It's called money
I will write it.
You understand? So parents need to understand that raise your kids with some sense. Because to me that is being sensitive.
Dignity.
Yeah. Some dignity, like do not debase yourself to that extent. This rubbish of your money is our money, my money is my money. Do you have sense?
Let me tell you something.
They will answer in the comment section. Please answer.
Let me give you this story quickly before our director cuts us. I took a number from one of the countries in East Africa.
That was not
It's
Uganda.
No, it's not Kenya.
It is
not Kenya.
I know it's Uganda. I am certain.
I know it's not Uganda.
I can vouch for it personally.
It's South Sudan,
No,
East African community.
I have not been to South Sudan yet. I've been to Burundi, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda. And it is not Kenya. So, this is what happened. This lady, I said hi. The first time, so again, we exchanged contacts and then we started talking. Basically, 2 hours after we started talking, she tells me she has this dream of moving into her own house. And then I told her, okay, that's good, congratulations. And then she was like, but I need 300K. And then I'm like, that's good, you will find it. And then
that was something sensible.
Yeah,
in Uganda, you say, hi, I am hungry.
See, and then she goes, now I was wondering how much you can help me with this so that I achieve my dreams.
Hello.
I tried to be kind, but I ended up saying, I'm not your father. She's never spoken to me again.
You tried to be kind.
I tried to be kind.
But the real truth about you came out that you ain't kind.
No, so what happened is, I told her, we've just met. I basically don't even know you. We are trying to get to know each other. How can you ask a stranger for? They're like, I thought you could help. You're not even helping. Okay, okay, we are going that direction. I am not your father. Not your father.
I met someone for the first time and they wanted to take my AirPods. I like, how does it work here?
Even my sisters have not taken my AirPods. Who are you? We have not fought since childhood.
You know?
We have not eaten uji and grammars together. How can you come and take my AirPods?
We have not
suffered together. Not eaten fried mangoes.
We've not eaten timber together.
Ladies and gentlemen, the boys are out here wilding. You've been wilding. So yeah, oh man, it's been crazy. But yeah, guys, It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's crazy out here.
This
It's
is not
crazy
enough.
out here.
I knew 1 hour would not be enough for
You know
this.
what? I need more cold juice.
Yes, we will return with our interesting guests. This is the most interesting guest so far. No offense to the other guests.
All the previous guests, I may not know you, but I love you.
You're not their father. Yeah, so guys, if you're giving a hard time, you know the response. Anyway, be kind. Those were my words. I'm not proud of them, but
You're not?
be kind. Yeah.
You're not?
Kinda.
I am.
My word is be emotionally intelligent.
Yes. Be wise.
Wise.
Yeah, so until next time, guys, thank you
No.
joining us.
I'm
No,
lost.
you conclude. No, you conclude. Come
That
on.
is my line. Use a different line. Say something else. Say something else.
I'm sorry for his limited in the
Edition.
but let me use other words for his sake. So we are once again at Anta's Nest, a very good place for accommodation, conferencing, food. If you need just chill, this is the place for you.
If you love serenity, like I do, you know where to be.
If you love sense, you won't hang out around Mandela. But
I respect your father, so I will use that line.
But yeah, guys, it's been really good. It's been really nice. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being with us on this episode. I'm sure there's something that you picked up. Please give us feedback, like, share, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts. If you don't agree with any of these guys, please let us know. I know me, I'm right.
Come out
I know I'm
bold.
right. You're
Yes.
not allowed
Come out bold.
You're not allowed to disagree with me. But but yeah, please make sure you join us next time once again on the Pieces of My African Soul.
If you come out
podcast.
bold, make sure you get a field where we can fight.
All right.